Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I, 30 female, am getting married to Roy, 31 male. We met in college and hit it off right away. He's handsome, charming, smart, and supportive. We fell in love and planned our entire future together. We planned where to live, how many kids to have, vacations, college fund for children, retirement, etc. I love him so much. He's my soulmate and my best friend. He would tell me he's proud of me whenever I achieve something. He's super supportive of my dreams and ambitions. He'd motivate me to take up projects which I was hesitant to. He'd reassure me that I'm capable and talented enough. He'd compliment me every time I got dressed up to go out and tell me how lucky he was to have me as his girlfriend. Roy's father passed away when he was just 8 years old, and his elder sister Kim, 33 female, was 10. His mother, Yami, 55 female, never remarried. She's a very kind and sweet lady. I never got to know Kim as she lived in a different city for work and rarely visits us. We got engaged 8 months ago in an engagement ceremony. In my country, the to-be bride and groom get engaged in a ceremony among family and close friends. Kim moved back to our city and found a job here. This is when things started to get complicated. It's customary here for the girl's parents to pay for the wedding. My dad hired a wedding planner and told me to plan the wedding with them to my and Roy's liking. When we started the planning process, my future mother-in-law stayed out of it, but Kim would tag along with us wherever we went. To the florist, to the wedding planner's office, to the caterers, everywhere. I wanted it to just be me and Roy. I told him that I didn't like future sister-in-law third-wheeling something just the both of us must have been doing together. He told me that Kim just wanted to be involved in her brother's wedding, and I should be more welcoming of her. I would have actually been okay with it if she'd keep her mouth shut and not give us her valuable input. When I choose flowers, it would be too pastel, choose a different color palette. When I would suggest the chair arrangement to the planner, she'd be like, that won't give a proper view to the guests on the far left. I wanted to have a coconut pudding at my wedding. It was my absolute favorite dessert growing up, and I wanted to share it with my guests on my wedding day. But guess what? No, not coconut. I'm allergic. The thing that pisses me off the most is that Roy always takes her side when it's my choice versus her choice. He wouldn't fight or anything. He'd be like, it doesn't matter which flower it's going to be, as long as it's you who's by my side. Let it go, babe. It's not a huge deal. Only thing that's important is that we're marrying each other and starting a new life together. When the coconut pudding thing happened, he asked me not to be selfish, as it's not just about me, and it's about both of us and our families. He said, Kim is family, and I cannot exclude her from having the food at our wedding. I was really frustrated at this point. It's as if we're planning Kim's wedding and not mine. The final straw was when we were shopping wedding dresses. Wedding wear would be an appropriate word, as it is in our traditional clothing. My mom picked out this beautiful green dress for me, and I loved it so much. But Kim had to poke her nose here as well. She told me that green isn't my color, and I should try something else. Roy agreed with her. Then I tried different dresses, and finally decided on a rose gold dress that I liked too, but not as much as the green one. We then started to shop for the families of the bride and groom. When it was Kim's turn, I kid you not, this bee picks out the same green dress and decides she's going to buy it. I lost it. I didn't want to make a scene there, so I walked out. I and Roy had a huge fight about this at home. He told me that green wasn't going well with my skin tone and that it suits Kim better, that I should stop acting so immature, that Kim picked that dress after I'd already picked out mine. I couldn't believe my ears. For the first time since we started planning our wedding, I noticed how he's always taken Kim's side and never mine. I couldn't believe that the man I was looking at was the same man I fell in love with. Roy and Kim shared a strong bond due to losing their father so young. They were each other's best friends and support system growing up. But that doesn't justify him taking her side when it's our wedding and our vision. Back in college when we were dating, he'd brag about his sister to anyone he could, even if that person was complimenting me. Like, if someone complimented the taste of the coffee I made, he'd be like, if you think this is delicious, then you must try the coffee my sister makes, etc. It was annoying, but it wasn't a big deal, and I let it go as I knew he was really close to her. But this time, I cannot let go. It's our wedding, not Kim's wedding. I yelled at him that if this wedding is happening, then it's happening like we both envisioned it, or it's not happening at all. Roy got mad at me and yelled that I was just jealous of his sister, as I can never be as good as her. That I'm a bitter person for holding a grudge against Kim, even though she's been nothing but kind to me. That she was just trying to help, etc. I don't hold any grudge against her. I just want to have my dream wedding. Am I the a-hole here? Edit. I'm currently at my friend's home. I cried myself to sleep after posting this. Woke up a few minutes ago, and she told me that there are around 1,000 people who agree with her. I forgot to tell you all that English is not my first language, so I apologize for any grammatical mistakes. I didn't want to read the comments because I was so scared of the obvious. Honestly, I just thought everyone would be telling me to cancel the wedding because he isn't right for me, which of course you all did, and thank you for that. But the things you've all pointed out, like the emotional incest and how she could control our future, even my future kids, never crossed my mind, not once. I don't know why I couldn't see those things. I was so dumb. After reading the comments, I almost threw up looking back at our relationship. I might have ignored them because he would claim that their bond is stronger than other siblings because they lost their father and had to face hardships together. I'm so heartbroken to the point that I black out if I stand straight. This pain is too much for me to take. His mom called me on my phone, but I didn't answer. It's so overwhelming. It's difficult to breathe, and I feel claustrophobic. My friend told me I might be experiencing anxiety. We're going to see a doctor first. I don't feel like I'm in a condition to talk to anyone. OP needs to run and not look back. OP needs to cancel the wedding without a doubt, because this will be her life. I really doubt OP wants her children to grow up believing that their mom is never good enough and their aunt is a goddess sent from above. OP's fiancé never respected OP and never will. And now let's hear the community's opinion. He literally told you what he believes. Do you want to wait several years just to find out he wasn't lying? Leave. He either flat out does not respect you or has never had a consequence for holding her relationship too close to him. It is not normal. It is enmeshment, and she is creepy for keeping it going. He's not her daddy. Edit. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Stop the bus, get off, and run. Not the a-hole. As soon as he said, "You can never be as good as my sister," I would have noped out of there and say, "Go marry your ducking sister." He does not care about you. You will always be in his sister's shadow. Get out of this. My niece, let's call her Mary, and I have always been very close. She got pregnant when she was 19 and had a beautiful baby girl. However, throughout her entire pregnancy, she smoked pee and cigarettes, as well as partied and drank alcohol. When her daughter was 1, she was taken by the state because of Mary and her boyfriend's D-use lifestyle and was placed with the paternal grandparents. January of this year, the paternal grandparent had a mental breakdown, second one since she had the child, and gave up custody to myself and my husband. We've had physical and full legal custody of the child since January. We love her incredibly and treat her as she were our own. We take her on trips to the zoo, carnivals, circuses, lake, etc. Have assumed 100% financial responsibility for her. The mother and father don't work and couldn't pay child support, even if they wanted to, which they don't. And we have gone above and beyond what the parents could ever do for her. We've given her a safe haven, put her in school, and she is adapting and excelling wonderfully. Now the bad. My niece, Mary, gets very jealous when she sees me posting pictures of the child online from fun adventures we do with her. Mary has cussed me out, telling me that it crushes her to see all of mine and my husband's family commenting about how good of a job we're doing raising this child. Mary has screamed at me, telling me that she will get custody back one day, and that my husband and I are getting too attached to what belongs to her, not us, and that we're overstepping our boundaries. She has reminded me on numerous occasions that she is the mother, not me, and it is ducked up that I don't invite her to go along on these trips and such, that we take the child on, so that Mary can experience these firsts with her daughter. We've had several arguments about this. Mary doesn't work, so she doesn't have money or a car to come places with us, therefore leaving us financially and physically responsible for her if we did invite her along. When Mary has her child overnight for visitation, she doesn't have the means to take her anywhere or do anything with her, yet penalizes me for being able to do so. I have invited Mary on several occasions to family gatherings, cookouts, and have offered to pick her up and bring her, but she generally declines. Yet later screams at me about how she's never included in family events. Last weekend, she told me she had lost complete respect in me, screamed at me, told me to shut the duck up after I asked her politely not to cuss at me, and told me that it was ducked up that I wasn't going to let her have her daughter on the 4th of July because we had wedding plans that the child was involved in. Come to find out, Mary didn't even have any 4th of July plans, nor the ability to go anywhere, but blamed me for not letting her be there to watch her child experience fireworks for the first time. I ended up caving and going to pick her up and brought her with me to my in-laws' 4th of July get-together because, believe it or not, I do want her to have a good relationship with her child, and I don't want the child to be negatively affected by keeping her from her mom. The entire time at the get-together, when the child would want to sit on my lap or hug or kiss me, Mary would grab the child's arm and say, "Come here, give mommy kisses, sit with mommy." During fireworks, when the child wanted to sit between me and Mary on the grass, Mary grabbed her and made her sit on her lap. She didn't want to share it. She didn't want to share at all, which kind of made me upset, because here I am putting all this time and effort for this beautiful child, and Mary doesn't appreciate all I have done and continue to do. I just don't know how to handle Mary anymore. I don't feel as though I should have to invite her to the things we do with the child, because those are special things we're taking money and time to plan to make sure she gets to experience the good in life. I just don't understand why Mary doesn't improve her situation so she can take her daughter places when she has her, which is infrequent because she never calls to take her, nor does she ask to see her daughter, but about twice a month. If this argument happens between Mary and myself again, how should I counteract her disrespect and demands? Should I just let her rant and not say anything? Or should I respond? Which has tended to make things even more heated because she can't handle the truth, even when I say it with love. Should I give a timeline to where if she hasn't cleaned up, I fight to adopt? I don't want to cause more drama, but I'm trying to look out for the best for the child. You have full legal custody of this child, not Mary. That means you have full right to refuse any and all contact between the child and Mary. You need to remember that the next time Mary becomes belligerent with you. That being said, my suggestion would be to disengage the moment she acts that way. Walk away, hang up, or whatever is necessary to remove yourself from that situation. Then, once things have calmed down, and only then, let Mary know that if she plans on spending time with the child, she needs to prove she can act mature, rational, and respectful, especially to the person who has assumed the time and cost of raising her daughter. If she cannot, then you need to be firm on refusing visitation. While you're at it, record all interactions with her to the best of your ability. I get that you want to allow them to have a relationship, but you also need to be realistic about what Mary's personality is going to do to the child. At the very least, I would only allow supervised visitation until Mary proves she is capable of controlling herself and her emotions. Yesterday, we broke the news to my family that I'm pregnant again, and everyone was happy because they know we wanted to have another baby. We already have an 8-month-old baby. But my stepsister started making horrible jokes about my husband's age. Jokes like he sure needed a few pills to get me pregnant, and my husband was clearly uncomfortable. But he didn't say anything. Then she started saying like I really got away with it because he didn't want kids and now he's going to have 2. So he told her that he loves our daughter and that he loves our unborn baby too. But she didn't stop and kept saying things like that until she crossed the line. She told him that I grew up in a very poor family and that by having 2 of his babies, I will no longer need to work for the next 18 years. And that pissed him off. And I told her to stop talking crap. And my dad just laughed and said she was kidding and I'm being dramatic, that she is a person who has dark humor and that I should already know that. And I'm sick of hearing that. Since we were kids, she always hurt everyone's feelings with her jokes, and he justified her by saying, but she has dark humor. I'm his daughter and he has to defend me, not her. Maybe I sound pathetic, but that's what I feel, and I feel like I've had enough. But I don't know how to talk to him about this, because whenever we talk about it, he just laughs. Would it be wrong to cut off contact with him for a while so that he understands that I am hurt? I'd give it one last talk before cutting off, both to the sister and your dad. If they fail to meet you halfway, then it's toodles. Good on you for stepping up for your husband. Honestly, you should really be thinking about how these people will affect your children. I know you're upset, but I've learned toxic family. If they say it to you, they will say it to your children. Personally, one of the biggest mistakes was ever thinking my parents were going to treat their grandchildren differently than they treated their own kids. I'm sorry for your hurt. Your husband is probably very hurt too. Don't be around people who treat and speak about your loved ones with such malice. She, 26 female, has been in a relationship with her boyfriend for almost 5 years, and for the last 2 years they've been in an open relationship. And apparently, it's working for them, because she keeps telling everyone in our group of friends that we would do the same. And although I'm not against it, I feel like it's not for me. I could never have an open relationship. Well, the point is that in the last 9 or 10 months, she has been very insistent about it. She is all the time telling me, 25 female, that it will be the best for me and that I will not regret doing it. I've told her 1,000 times that I'm not going to do that, and then she started playing with my mind, telling me that she's sure that I want to know what it feels like to have S with another person, and things like that. She says that because the only person I've ever had S with is my husband, 48 male. I told her again that I'm not interested, and it's true. My S life is really good, and I don't feel the need to experiment with someone else, and neither does my husband. We're old school, and we cannot imagine life in a non-monogamous way. Obviously, we don't judge anyone who chooses to be in an open relationship, but that's just not for us. When I told her that, she insisted I talk it over with my husband, which I did, and he said he isn't interested in it either. And when she was at our house a few weeks ago, he told her to stop being so pushy because we're clearly not interested in that. And surprisingly, she stopped. But that was not all. A few days ago, I was talking to another friend we have in common, and she told me that this friend is insisting that I open my relationship because she told her that she has been attracted to my husband for a long time, and that she wants to shoot her shot to see what happens. And knowing that felt horrible. Because she's been my friend for years. She spends a lot of time with us. She plays with our daughter. She was there for me when I told her that my husband and I were trying to have a second baby before he had the vasectomy, and she was even there when I took the test before telling my husband. She's like family. So I wanted to know if that was true, and I spoke directly with her, and she didn't deny it. She admitted that those were her intentions and even told me that I should stop being so prudish, that she only wanted to duck with him, not get married and have children, that S is something normal, and that if I weren't a hopeless romantic prude who thinks that you only have S for love, I would understand. That she won't try anything with him if that makes me uncomfortable, and I just told her not to talk to me anymore. I feel so bad because she lied to my face for so long, and it is as if she has made fun of me all this time by playing with my mind just to get what she wanted. And I hate her for it, but at the same time, I feel so bad for feeling that because we were like sisters for years, and it hurts me to have to cut her off. My other friends and my husband told me that it is best to let her go because someone who lies and tries to manipulate you to benefit herself is not a good friend. And I know they're right, but it still hurts. Will this pain ever go away? I mean, can you get over the loss of a friend you considered your sister for years? This is so blatantly and disgustingly manipulative of her. Unfortunately, she is not your friend. Friends respect and value each other's life choices and boundaries. Yep, you can. It hurts now, but she's proven that she is really not a good friend to you at all. I don't even care about the open relationship, shooting her shot. It's that she lied and attempted to manipulate you the whole time, rather than just being honest. And she was honest in talking about it behind your back with other people. She's a snake. So my husband and I are pregnant, and we just found out that we are having a girl. We are so excited. My mother-in-law passed away from virus very suddenly in August, and my father-in-law has asked that we name our girl the mother's name, which was Esther. I do not want to do this, and here are my reasons. 1. I greatly dislike the name Esther. It is extremely old-fashioned and does not sound like a cute girl name. 2. My mother-in-law was not my favorite person. We did not get along. 3. My mother-in-law did not attend our wedding because of religious differences. 4. My mother-in-law tried to sabotage my wedding the day of. I, of course, do not mind a middle name to honor her, just not the first name. I thought of maybe caving in and naming her Esther, and then giving her the nickname Ellie, and then just always calling her Ellie. It's a very sensitive topic because it happened so recently, and we are all still being affected by it. I don't want to offend anyone by saying no. I also feel if I say no to Esther as the first name, I can't use any other family name for our daughter or any other children we might have. Right now, my husband is indifferent and could take or leave the name Esther. Any advice? Just don't do it at all. Because your father-in-law started with an outrageous request, her first name, does not mean you have to compromise with her middle name. He used a common negotiating technique called anchoring, asking for something beyond what you consider achievable in order that the other party feels that they have to come up with a way past what they actually want to offer. It is pure manipulation. It sounds like you didn't get along with Esther. Just because now she has sadly died does not mean you should pay tribute to her in your child's name. It's a terrible idea. Don't appease father-in-law, who is being unreasonable and could not but know it. You and hubby are the only ones with a say in your child's name. That father-in-law came up with this ridiculous ask does not mean you have to do anything.